Okay, we're going to be adding, subtracting, multiplying integers. I'm going to put a little mark right here. This will remind me that I need to lift the paper right at number 6. Okay, so what we have here first is 20. So we'll write 20 here. And here, with the parentheses, this is all multiplication. So 3 times 2 is 6, and 6 times 1 is 6. So this will be a 6. Now, we have a positive and 2 negatives. All we care about is the negatives. We are having 2 negatives when multiplying means that the answer is going to be positive. So let's put positive here. And so what we have is same signs, a positive 20 and a positive 6. So same signs add, so we get 26. And the bigger sign always wins. The 20 is the bigger sign. And remember, the 20 is positive, so the 26 will be positive. Next, we have a 20. And we're multiplying the 3 times the 2 times the 1, which is 3 times 2 is 6, and 6 times 1 is 6. Now, this time we have a total of 1, 2, 3 negatives. Well, 3 negatives when multiplied will give you a negative. So this will be a negative 6. Now these are different signs. Positive 20, negative 6. So same signs add, but different signs subtract. So we'll subtract those and get 14. And the bigger sign always wins. The 20 is the bigger, and it's positive. So this is going to be a positive 14. Next, we have a negative 12. And we're multiplying a 3, 2, and a 1. So this will be 3 times 2 is 6, and 6 times 1 is still 6. So this will be 6 here. Now we have 2 negatives, and the rule is that 2 negatives will give you positive. So 2 negatives, positive 6. And then these are different signs, negative 12, positive 6. So we're going to subtract. Different signs subtract. So subtract these two, we get 6. And then the bigger sign will win. Well, the 12 is the bigger, so its negative will win. So this will be a negative 6. Okay. Number 4, we have a negative 12. And we're multiplying a 3 times a 2 times a 1. 3 times 2 is 6. 6 times 1 is 6. So this is 6. We have 1, 2, 3 negatives. 3 negatives multiplied is a negative. So this will be a negative 6. Now we have same signs. Same signs, negative 12, negative 6 will add. Same signs add, we'll get 18. And remember, the bigger sign wins. So the 12, its sign will win because 12 is bigger. So this will be a negative 18. Next, we have 20. And then we have a negative 3. But the 2 has a power here, so we're going to expand this right here. So we're going to expand this into a 2 and another 2. Okay. Remember, the exponent tells you how many times to write this with multiplication. The bottom number, which is the base. Okay, so let's continue to write 20. And let's start multiplying these numbers here. 3 times 2 is 6. 6 times 2 is 12. So this will be 12. Now this has one negative. And the rule is, one negative is negative when you multiply. So you multiply by one negative, you're going to get negative. These are different signs. A positive 20, negative 12, so we're going to subtract those and get an 8. And the bigger sign always wins, which is from the 20. The 20 is positive, therefore the 8 will be positive. Okay. So number 6 starts us off with a negative 20. We have behind that is a negative 3, and we're going to write the negative 2 twice. And that's because of the power here, 2. Alright, so we have negative 20. And we're multiplying 3 times 2, which is 6, and then 6 times 2, which is 12. So we get 12 here. Now, we have 1, 2, 3 negatives. The rule for 3 negatives is that those are negative. So we're going to make a negative right here. And these now are same signs. Same signs add, we'll get 32. And the bigger sign wins. So the 20 is bigger, so its sign will win. So this will end up being a negative 32. Next, we have 20, the negative 3. And this 2 is going to be written twice. So 2 here and 2 there. Okay, now let's multiply. Now this will stay 20. And we'll multiply these right here. We'll have 3 times 2, which is 6, and then 6 times 2, which is 12. So this will be a 12. and we'll multiply by one negative. If you multiply by one negative, you're going to get negative. So this is negative. Now these are different signs. One is positive, one is negative, so different signs subtract. So 20 minus 12 gives us 8. The bigger sign always wins. So since this is a positive 20, this will be a positive 8. Next, we have lots of expansion this time. We have a 3 followed by 2's, and we're going to write 3 of them. So 2, 2, and 2. Then a negative 3, and followed by 2's, but we're going to have 2 of those because of the exponent. 2 and 2. Okay, now let's multiply. 3 times 2 is 6, 6 times 2 is 12, and 12 times 2 is 24. Here we have 3 times 2 is 6, and 6 times 2 is 12, so this will be a 12. This has one negative for multiplication, and one negative is going to be negative. So this will be negative. So these are different signs, so we're going to subtract. So 24 take away 12 is 12. And then the bigger sign wins. Well, the 24 is bigger, and it's positive. So this will be a positive 12. Okay. Here, we're going to evaluate this. We have a negative 2 and a negative 2 to the second power. So we'll write the negative 2 first. And this negative 2 gets written twice because of the second power. So negative 2 and negative 2. Then there's a negative 3. And this negative 2 here gets written twice because of the power or the exponent. So negative 2, negative 2. All right, let's start the process of multiplication. Okay, 2 times 2 is 4, and 4 times 2 is 8. So this becomes an 8. There are 3 negatives, and the rule is 3 negatives means that your final, well, 3 negatives multiplied means your final answer is going to be negative. So this will be a negative 8. Now we'll multiply the 3 times 2, which is 6, and 6 times 2, which is going to be 12. So this is going to be a 12. Now here we have 1, 2, 3 negatives. Therefore, 3 negatives multiplied will be negative. So this will be a negative 12. This gives us same signs. Same signs will add and give us 20. The bigger sign always wins, so the 12 is bigger. So this will be a negative 20. Next, we have a negative 2. And this 3 right here needs to be written twice. So 3 here, and then 3 again. Then a negative 2. And this negative 3 needs to be written twice. So negative 3, and then another negative 3. All right, now let's start the process of multiplication. 2 times 3 is 6, and 6 times 3 is 18. So this is 18. This has one negative, and when you multiply by one negative, the answer will be negative. This is 2 times 3, which is 6, and 6 times 3 will be 18, so this will be 18 as well. And we're going to have 1, 2, 3 negatives. So rule for 3 negatives is that multiply will become negative. So this becomes negative 18. These are same signs. Same signs will add. So 18 and 18 adds up to a 36. And the bigger sign wins. Well, since they're the same signs, it doesn't matter which one you use. So we'll just use this one. And this is a negative 36. Number 11, we have a negative 4. And then 3 needs to be written twice. So 3 and then 3 again. Then a negative 2. And this negative 3 needs to be written twice. So negative 3 and then another negative 3. Okay, multiplication. 4 times 3 is 12. And 12 times 3 is 36. So this is 36. This is multiplying with one negative, and when you multiply with one negative, then the answer will be negative. 2 times 3 is 6, and 6 times 3 is 18. So we have 18 here. Now this has 3 negatives, 1, 2, 3, and the rule for 3 negatives is that when you multiply 3 negatives, it will be negative. So this will be negative. These are same signs. Same signs will add. So 36 added to a 18, I think will be 54. And then after you add, the bigger sign wins. So that's the 36. So this will be a negative 54. Okay. Let's take a look at number 12. Number 12, we have a negative 4. We have a 3 to the second power, so that means the 3 has to be written twice. Then there's a plus 2 here. And there's a negative 3 to the second power, so that means this negative 3 has to be written twice. Okay, so let's begin the multiplication process. 4 times 3 is 12, and 12 times 3 is 36. So this will be 36. We're multiplying with one negative, and the rule for multiplying with one negative is that that'll be a negative. Furthermore, we have 2 times 3, which is 6, and 6 times 3, which is 18. So this will be 18. And this has a total of 2 negatives. Well, multiplying by 2 negatives will be a positive, so this is a positive 18. So we have different signs. Different signs subtract. So 18 from a 36 leaves 18. And the bigger sign will win, so the 36, the negative from the 36 will win, so this will be a negative 18. Okay, number 13. We have a 4, and this negative 2 needs to be written twice, so we have a negative 2 here, and then another negative 2 there, then a negative 2 right here, and this negative 3 here needs to be written twice. Okay, so let's multiply now. 4 times 2 is 8. 8 times 2 is 16, so this is 16. This has a total of 2 negatives, and 2 negatives will be positives, so this is a positive 16. 2 times 3 is 6. 6 times 3 is 18, so this will be an 18. And this has a total of 1, 2, 3 negatives, so we're multiplying by 3 negatives. When you multiply 3 negatives, you will get a negative. So it's negative 18. So these are different signs, positive and negative. So different signs subtract. So 16 from 18 leaves 2. And the bigger sign always wins, so the 18 is bigger, so the final answer would be negative 2.